Hi YouTube, welcome back to my channel. So yesterday I managed to do quite a bit of damage in a mere 30 minutes, 45 minutes or so, doing some makeup shopping in Covent Garden, London. Covent Garden is a great area, by the way, now for premium makeup shopping as well as other things, if you happen to be in London, because they have makeup only outlets for quite a few brands. So for example, Charlotte Tilbury's been there for a number of years, MAC has been there for forever, there's a nice NARS store there. But for me, of interest are my big three of Chanel, Dior, and most recently opened Tom Ford. I think they've been there for a little while now. I would also say Burberry is there, and that's quite useful because Burberry cosmetics, if you like them, are quite hard to see in person, although they have an excellent website. Off the top of my head, I can only think of a counter in Harrods rather than any of the other department stores. I may be wrong about that, but there's a standalone in Covent Garden. I didn't have time to go in yesterday. So I was on the hunt for the seasonal offerings, the holiday offerings. Another plus of the standalone stores is they tend to get the seasonal specials before certainly department stores do, so usually about 1 to 2 weeks before. And I had, truth to tell, bought a couple of the Tom Ford new palettes online because they sold out in a flash online at Selfridges, and I didn't have time to go into Selfridges in person, missed them online. So in desperation bought the two I was most interested in, having watched a bunch of videos on YouTube, sight unseen on the Tom Ford website, but really wanted to go and look at the other items before I bought anything. So talk about Chanel, I did buy from there as well, not so much, in another video, and I'll show you, I think, probably the other two Tom Ford palettes that I bought sight unseen, maybe in another video, or else this will be too long. But showing you what I got yesterday, I got the third of the 3 Tom Ford Soleil Neige palettes. So great concept marketing wise from Tom Ford. Instead of the standard gold and brown packaging, they do these Soleil in the white and gold that we've seen for a number of years now. Started out being a summer collection, Soleil for sun, obviously, but now they do it for winter as well, Soleil Neige. Sunny snow, which is quite clever, isn't it? Really optimizing their options. So this one is, as I say, the third for me, and this is the one that is called Soleil Neige 01. Now, as I say, I looked at a bunch of the videos on YouTube, many thanks to primarily our Canadian and American friends who reviewed these palettes, and there seemed to be a consensus that this one and the kind of warm goldeny one were the two to go for, and the one with the very unusual turquoise green shade didn't seem to be getting as many votes from people, but there was no way I could pass it up. So I went for that one and the warmer palette, and this one I didn't order, partly because it seemed to me to be, let's take the plastic off because my ring light is showing a lot. It seemed to be a very kind of smoky look, but also because it reminded me a lot of one that I bought relatively recently, last year probably, the Double Indemnity. Sorry about the ring light, but I can't do without it at the moment because it's so gloomy. So there's Double Indemnity. If we look at them together, I don't know, they're not, I guess, that similar. The kind of white, the taupe, the dark. I just felt it was a very similar look, and although I do like Double Indemnity, I haven't used it a lot. I think I will use it more now that we're into winter. So I passed on that, but when I swatched it in store yesterday, I decided that I had to have it, especially as it's a limited edition. So what have we got? As you know, these are the wet and dry formula. I very seldom wear them wet, or the ones that I've had, I tend not to wear wet. I will say, and I'll talk about this a bit more with the other two palettes, which I've tried more. I haven't tried this one at all. I've just taken it out of the bag for you, other than in store. I have worn the other two, and they are a lot sheerer than the standard Tom Fords I have been used to, so I may have to wear them wet. But what we've got here is a beautiful kind of mid-toned pearly white. These are not if you only like matte palettes. Pretty, isn't it? It's very foiled, so I tend to wear whites in the inner corner of my eye, which is quite kind of dark discoloured to brighten, give a pop. But I could see how you could get some very nice party looks with this if you don't want to use glitter. And I'm not a huge fan of glitter because I get a lot of fallout, particularly now, even if it's a good shadow, because I have crepier eyes. So, you know, they kind of rub and fallout becomes more of an issue. So I could see myself using this kind of foiled white over other shades to create a party look. Then a good old caramelly taupe. Again, nice and mid-tone, not too cool, not too warm. Very pigmented, I think, unlike the other palettes. And that's got a kind of rose gold hue to it. Now, I can't say that I probably have got something very similar in my Tom Ford eye palette wardrobe. I don't know how many I've got now. I've got too many. We might do a video stacking them all up and looking at them. I don't know if anyone will be interested in looking at the different ones over the years. But this is making me think a bit of Nude Dip. But it's a shade I can never get enough of. So I loved that. Then this is a bit dark for me generally, but you know, time maybe to start experimenting. It goes on beautifully smoothly because I often find very dark shades are very grainy and you can kind of almost see the fallout before it happens. This one plainly has got some flecks of glitter in it. So again, it's quite a party shade, but very, very pretty. And I mean, looking at those three together, although I would have described this, well, both of these as quite medium, I think the overall look is quite cool toned, which I tend to. And then another dark, kind of navy steel grey. There we go. Also swatching beautifully, and that's got a kind of purple aubergine undertone as well. So this palette performing just like the tester did in the shop yesterday. Really, really well. I haven't used this on the eyes yet. Haven't tried any looks. I think they're going to be kind of evening looks, but I'm quite excited to try this one. So having rejected this in my first buying frenzy, I couldn't resist, and I'm not regretting so far, even though £68, horrible, horrible price, isn't it? So shall we just show it alongside Double Indemnity, and then I think I'm going to have to come back to the cream and powder because I'm not going to have enough time. So let's, this feels kind of smoother, less foiled. You can see less of a pinky undertone, very similar. The nearest to the taupe, much darker, as you can see. There isn't an equivalent of that kind of rose goldy shade that we see in the Soleil Neige. Then a much lighter, I love that shade actually. Again, that's the taupe, isn't it? But it's a much more pewter rather than rose gold type taupe. So quite different. And then finally the black, which is a much more black than either the kind of brown that we've got here or the almost purpley grey. So we're in the same ballpark with these two. I was right about that, but they're definitely different. You can definitely justify having both of them, and they're both nice palettes. And I think Double Indemnity is still around. So I've used up my 10 minutes showing you those two, and I'm going to stop now. I did fall for two of the little pots with the cream and the top coat, which I will show in another video. I've always had mixed feelings about these, and they're very expensive, but I fell because they both perform so well in store. But that's for another day. So until then, bye for now.